You know, everyone has that moment where they're just sitting around waiting for their boss to give them a new assignment, and they just think to themselves, you know what? Let's make like the greatest video game ever made. After finishing the Ninja Warriors in 1994, Natsume decided to go ahead and take a little bit of sci-fi, a little bit of Wild Wild West, put them together in the pot, stir it up, and boom, you have Wild Guns. Wild Guns is a sci-fi western shooting gallery game on the Super Nintendo that was released in Japan in 1994. While the game got okay reception at launch, it wasn't a huge financial success. But nowadays, the game has become a cult classic, and the Super Nintendo version sells for crazy prices. In this game, you play as one of two main characters as you travel through the 6 main levels, defeat enemies, collect power-ups, and destroy the bosses. There are 6 levels in the game, each having 2 sections, each with a mini-boss, and a 3rd section that has a final boss. You play as either Clint or Annie, who both have 4 costumes. The story follows Annie, a young girl who attempts to hunt down the Kidd family, who had kidnapped and killed her family. She enlists the help of a mysterious bounty hunter named Clint to help hunt down the Kidd family. Annie tries to go along with Clint, but he insists he doesn't need her help. And just like the title says, this game is wild. There's so much to dodge, so much to shoot, so much to collect. It is just a ton of stuff is happening at once, and it's incredible. And there are a ton of different enemy types, some throwing TNT, some shooting regular guns, some riding minecarts, some just being turrets, some throwing lassos that slow you down, some throwing fireballs. It's a crazy amount of stuff. But this game is hard. It's not easy at all. You will die a lot, you will have to retry it a lot. I mean, it's not Contra 3, but you're not playing Kirby here. And obviously there's too many enemies for you to go at it alone, which is why the game offers 2-player co-op, and it's just perfect. There's also a versus mode where 2 players compete for a high score by shooting targets. Some enemies drop collectibles like money bags and jewels for extra points, power-ups, and bombs. You automatically start out with a rifle, but by shooting power-ups dropped by enemies, you can upgrade to many different guns. The shotgun basically acts like a spread power-up. It allows the player to hit multiple enemies over a wide area in one shot. The machine gun allows you to fire at an incredible speed, letting you spray enemies and not really worry about getting hit. The grenade launcher is where it gets really fun. It allows you to shoot powerful explosions, but it's slower than most other guns. It's great for taking down bosses and more powerful enemies if you can have them when you get to that point. You just feel like a powerhouse when you're using this one. And finally, the pea shooter. The pea shooter is basically a joke gun. You can get this annoying buddy from the question mark power-ups. You get a big X across your reticle and you cannot harm any enemies until you deplete the gun of all 50 bullets. There's also a few other items the enemies can drop, like the bomb. The bombs cause a huge explosion, doing great damage to every enemy on screen and killing most of them. You can carry 5 at a time, and you can see how many you have based on the purple orbs at the bottom of the screen. You also have lassos that you can use by mashing Y. If you throw it and hit any enemy on screen, that enemy freezes for a brief period. As you shoot enemies, a meter near the bottom slowly fills up. When it's filled, you get to use the Vulcan, which is a super powerful weapon, and it has incredibly fast firing rate, a huge spread, and does lots of damage. Also during this phase, your character is invincible, so it's pretty much an instant win if you get it. You can only use it for a few seconds, and once the meter's empty again, you go back to the rifle. Every level's fantastic, each one has a different theme and some sort of different mechanic, be that battling on a train, battling enemies on minecarts, walls blocking the enemies, and more. They just put so much detail into this game. Almost everything in the background can be interacted with, like you can shoot the cliff walls, carts, forklifts, and many other things. This game is just ripe with personality. There's just so much care and love put into every single pixel on screen. The enemy designs are just so creative and have so much personality, like the minecart guys, the guys in the bushes, the guys with knives. Every enemy has so much personality and charm, it's impossible not to fall in love with them. I've always loved the aesthetic of sci-fi being mixed with the past, especially the Wild West. It hasn't been tried too many times, but when it has, it usually has not worked well.
Touch them.
I'm not touching those things.
What, are you afraid you're wrong? Touch my breast. Just one. Touch one.
Okay. You happy, Gordon? I'm touching your breast.
I knew it.
And you don't want to pay $999 to play this game on an old system? Well, do I have good news for you. The game was just released on Nintendo Switch Online and it plays perfectly, plus you can offset the difficulty by using the rewind feature. Also in 2016, the game was remade as Wild Guns Reloaded. This added 2 additional characters, new stages, music, art, power-ups, and more. And I would definitely recommend checking that out. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more gaming and movie content every Tuesday, along with random reviews throughout the week. Actually, I don't really care. Just go watch Wild Wild West, the greatest movie ever. Bye!
This is Boomerang from Cartoon Network.